The fourth dimension. What do they call it? The fourth what?
Is that
Fifth,
a Deadpool?
the fifth wall.
The fifth fourth wall.
Yeah,
I've never
fourth
seen
wall.
Deadpool's. I'm sorry. Welcome into Off the Cleat. This is a fun week coming up here because I think we've had some warm weather this week, so we've had a good time. So it's been a little bit lakish. So welcome to Off the Cleat. My guest this week is the very famous Justin Atwell.
Not famous.
Who is
Not famous at all.
so we'll get to it in a second, but he's the guy that started the Lake Jet Ski Riders Facebook group for all the it's kind of like Hell's Angels for overweight, overage, drunk white people. No, but so back into some quick announcements. We've got the boat sale still going on. We just did Waxahachie, Layport in Waxahachie Creek Saturday. It was a great time. The boat was out there. Thanks to Airport Marine for bringing it out. Everybody check that out. We sold some tickets that day. We've got the upcoming sale on April, is it 25th? 26th on Saturday, Airport Marine. Probably going to have jocks out there doing some stuff.
And tickets are selling fast.
Tickets are selling good. I'd say that, yes. So we're going to be, our producer's in the background motioning us right now. We're going to be there on the 26th selling them. Jocks will be doing a remote so we can all talk about our disappointments from the Final Four from Alabama and an Auburn perspective. Maybe we'll get on the radio and talk about that, but that's the next chance to buy tickets at a meet and greet we're doing. It'll be at Airport Marine. And then we'll have one at Waxahachie on May 10th, Waxahachie Marina. So that's the stuff we have coming up. And then obviously Memorial Day kickoff concert will happen too. We'll talk more about that in the future episodes. We're just now in early April. But to Justin.
What's up?
Well, how you doing, man?
Good.
So jet ski rider, is that a new thing or an old thing?
I think it's pretty new. I mean,
First jet ski ever owned now?
for me, yes.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I know you through mutual friends, Chris Salter.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Don't judge him on that, please. Please don't judge him on that. I know you through mutual friends only for probably a couple years now. You've come down and hung out with stuff, but y'all got jet skis last year.
Got them in August, yeah.
And so just initially, why was it like, wow, I'm gonna get two jet skis? My wife's getting jet skis. What was your first thought of getting a jet ski? Because you don't have a boat. You're obviously you don't live on the lake,
right?
So what was all in the thought process? Is we're getting jet skis on a boat?
I think for us it was just it's always kind of I have friends with boats, man. So jet skis to me are the adventure side of it. Really is what we were looking for. The exploration side. I mean, ripping down a lake at 60 miles an hour is fun for a little bit, but going back into sloughs and idling back up in there and checking things out is really what interested us. So Debbie had got Ethel about a year before, and we had ridden Ethel a few times and just fell in love and knew it was what we wanted to do. So we decided to purchase a couple wave runners.
Yeah, the adventure side is kind of an interesting question or interesting point. So obviously 60 miles an hour where they run wide open lakes, straight line 42-ish. Maybe 50 with all the zigzags. I mean, you can do that in an hour, so you're not going to get to explore a lot, right?
Right.
So one of the things I do as a hobby is I do exploring, but I do it, in a car. I do what's called overlanding. So I got that same kind of mentality of just go somewhere, check something out a little bit different. And that kind of was, boats are slower, less capable.
Yeah.
Whereas like I used to backpack, which backpacking slower, more capable to get somewhere.
Yeah. Since
then I've had back surgery and stuff, so I got into the overland camping stuff for that same kind of mentality, like exploring and looking around. So exploring and looking around. So you got them last year. I know y'all done some rides here on Way Lake. I've done one with you. Went down into Paint Creek, went way up in the back of actually into Paint Creek to about where I don't know if you could have got a kayak past where we're at. It was pretty.
We were pretty far back up in there.
Done that with you. So what all what else have you done exploring wise? Like you see going up creeks doing this. What else have you done since you got them?
Well, I think the first ride that kind of kicked this off was when we had gotten ours and. It was more towards the end of last summer, and Debbie put the call out there to some people she knew that had skis, and Luke was there. I think we ended up with about 10 or 12, maybe even 14 jet skis, and you guys took us up Waxahachie as far as we could go. Yeah. We all kind of anchored out and hung out and got off the skis, and just had a good time. Took some photos, put that on that post on the boat club page, and there were like 125 comments or something like that, and. Oh, I have a ski. I want to go next time. Or I have a ski. I want to go next time. Or man, next to you guys are Paint Creek. Let us know or whatever. And so that kind of just piqued the interest of maybe there's a community here on the lake that is more personal watercraft oriented, and we need to put a group together for people that want to go ride, whether it's on Lay Lake or whether anywhere else. So I think last summer we did a few trips up. We did one to the dam. We did Yellowleaf a bunch of times, which was fun. There were some trees down across Yellowleaf that we were able to kind of snake through and get way back up in there and went as far as we did. Debbie said, "Look, I'll go as far until I see a snake or an alligator." And we went till we saw a snake.
No alligator yet.
And I turned
No,
around.
no,
I
no,
turned
no.
around.
I thought we were gonna have an alligator announcement just now. I was getting excited.
Yeah, we've done Paint Creek. We've gone down the lake and hit all the sloughs. Like on the right side after you go through the Narrows, all the sloughs all the way down, and started working them on the way back up. And just whatever. We've taken a couple trips down to Lake Mitchell and ridden down there a couple times. And this year I think we want to do a lot more than that. So.
I think it's a good point too to say, like, you made a group and you made a Facebook group to, like, everybody so they can communicate.
Yeah.
I mean, the boat club's got 13,000 members on it, so
Exactly.
sometimes you post something and it falls through the cracks. So having a group like that with everybody that just jet skis is probably a really good idea for communication and stuff.
We did Cedar Creek too. We went pretty.
Oh, yeah.
Whit
All
took
the
us up Cedar
So
Creek.
I sucked something in, too.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
were so shallow.
That's pretty far then.
Yeah.
So it's good though, because we do the dam run a lot of times. So the group will post on the boat club area meets up, and there's always the boats, and then there's the watercraft. You post watercraft, and it's hard to coordinate that timing because generally it was 3 or 4 watercraft, but now it's like, well, we could just have all the jet skis go as a group, and all the boats all kind of meet up together. So that would be better, I think. Coming up, we do like a big dam run with a bunch of people on the lake. Have all the jet ski guys definitely in a group together, not trying to tag along with the boat because they know somebody in the boat, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Boats go. Obviously, you guys are cruising a little bit slower. We can cruise with the boats, but
It's still fun.
It's really not as much fun. Yeah,
We
more-
tried
it's
it.
actually-
We tried it last
Well, it's actually more work driving them going 20, 25 miles an hour. It's
It
like
is.
you got to work them instead of 30, 35.
Yeah.
They're just
30-35 is where
you're
it's
just
at.
going. It's cruising speed.
Yeah.
Not idle speed almost. Yeah. So I agree. Driving them at 20 miles an hour sucks. You're just plowing
Unless
through
you
the
have a
water.
turbo Sea-Doo and then you want to go 80.
Oh, Luke. Yeah, we'll go there. Last week's guest has come back, so we did not run him off. Look at that.
Harley.
Is he going to talk in this? He's laughed a little
I don't
bit.
know if I'm going to talk in this.
No talking. No talking. We won't ask you no questions till it
He's
gets.
still single.
I don't know if anybody heard that, but they did.
$1,000 reward.
So now it's just become the off the cleat. Let's pimp out Luke podcast. 2 weeks in a row, we got people yelling the single in the background. Come on, get the guy a break. He's not going to come back.
That's right.
I need somebody that's brave enough to drive a golf. Oh, I spilt my tea. No, I didn't.
Not all the way.
Yeah, there we go. I need somebody brave enough to drive a golf cart down the hill with me, and he's that guy. Proved it last week with his go-kart skills, and he got the golf cart running for me. So don't be too mean to him.
Yep.
So Justin, I want to back up a little bit. So how old are you?
I'll be 52 this year.
So you're 11 years older than me then. So
Yep.
it's a little bit older than me. So I know you're not from here.
No.
Just because I know you're not. So like where was home? Where'd you grow up? How'd your life start off? Because I know you're not from here, so it's a kind of interesting story how you ended up here.
Yeah, so I grew up in San Diego. I grew up as a kid surfing with my dad. I was not great at surfing, but it was time for my dad and I. We would go out surfing. And I left California at 18, went in the military, went in the Air Force, and then didn't live around water for a long, long time. And then met my wife, Chris, and she's from Mobile.
Where'd y'all meet at?
We met in Utah.
Okay.
So came time for us to get out of the military. She assumed we would go to California. I was like, I don't think so. Let's go to Alabama. So we came to Alabama, lived in Mobile for a couple of years, and then moved up here to Birmingham. And then in 2013-ish, got into stand-up paddleboarding. It was kind of coming back. It was making its way here, and I met a guy up at Oak Mountain and started renting boards from him. And it was a way to get back on the water. Not surfing, no waves here really, but it was a way to get on a board on the water. And then started doing that, and that kind of took off. And then Chris started paddleboarding with me, and we would go out and we would run into people that were like, hey, man, I've always wanted to try that. And so we would start just putting people on boards, just, hey, I'm going to fall. No, you're not. We'll get you going. And then that kind of turned into a little bit of a business opportunity, and had a business called Paddle South for a while where we would rent boards and give instruction, and worked with Mountain High Outfitters and did a bunch of stuff with them. And then it just we took something that we loved and turned it into a job, and then everybody hated it. So
yeah,
it kind of went away for a while. So I kind of look at riding a jet ski as like a 50-year-old version of stand-up paddleboarding. We can still go explore and have a good time, but we can take it easy.
That's kind of like what I said when I do the overland stuff. It's like I always joke it's backpacking for for old, out of shape drunk people.
Yeah,
That's what overlanding is.
Yeah, it's a lot easier.
I can't backpack like with my back anymore. I'm scared to try it. So yeah, kind of same thing. I hit like a point in my life. I was like, well, I love doing this when I was younger, and this is another way to kind of do it.
Yeah, so that's kind of the how it sort of all came about. But and then just getting out here on the lake. They've been at the lake for a while. We're real good friends, and coming down to the lake. Never really had a reason to own a boat. I ride a motorcycle as well, and this is sort of the water version of that. And really, I think the wave runners are probably the best money I've ever spent.
Yeah,
entertainment reason wise.
So back at right in the middle of your story there, you said you were in Mobile for a couple of years, and you moved to Birmingham. So why Birmingham? What was it like? I mean, what?
Just job opportunity here.
Really?
Yeah, it was here in Birmingham, and you know, we were at a point. We had a young son at the time living at home, and it was a fine time for us to move. So we just went where the
is that when y'all moved to the Clear area?
We moved to Clear till 2003. It was a couple years after we moved up here.
And that's how you met Chris, I believe. Same.
Yeah, our kids, our sons were in the same grade, third grade, I think, at the time, and they befriended themselves, and that's how I met Chris and Debbie, and then just kind of took off from our kids being friends at school.
So when you met Chris, was there a time, the first time you met Chris, what happened?
What happened?
Yeah, the first time you met him, I believe
I was working on a rental house, and he brought Joe over to hang out with Zach, and I never met Chris. I think he was communicating with my wife, and he pulled up. I'm in the middle of painting this house, and I'm really not, in the mood to deal with anything. And Chris got out of the truck, and I thought, who is this guy? Like, what is this? He looked like an undercover FBI agent or something like that.
You said he got out of this huge truck.
Yeah,
and
big old Nissan Titan truck, and I thought, oh, this guy, and he gets out, he's like 5 foot tall.
And what he look like?
He looked like a dick. Excuse my
No,
language.
not what is he? What he look like?
No, it turned out to be a great friend and a good start of a relationship. Our families have been close for a long time. So we've gotten into some trouble together, and camping and paddleboarding and traveling and just stuff like that. So that's how I kind of ended up. And then when they moved to the lake, that was sort of our introduction to the lake as well. Was coming down here.
So y'all started coming down when they moved down in, I think, 18. Is that correct?
Yeah,
18, 19.
We had paddleboarded out here a couple times. We went out of Waxahachie once or twice, but there's a lot of people on this lake that like to fish, that like to go real fast, and it's not real conducive when you're standing on a paddleboard when they go blowing by you at 80 miles an hour.
Man, the waves were knocking me off,
and to be honest, like in our paddleboarding days, like we had a specific name for people on jet skis. We didn't like them either because I think they thought it was fun to try to throw us off.
Is that name okay to say?
I don't know.
Okay.
PG-13.
I mean, we just call them douchebags. I mean, because that's what they were, And honestly, that's always kind of riding now, being in that community now. It's kind of stuck with me in that there are a lot of those people. I mean, whether they're in bass boats or whatever kind of boat.
I don't think the watercraft or the car.
It doesn't. It's the mentality of the person.
Yeah, it's a person. They could drive a this or.
But I think for us, for me anyway, like I want to have a reputation of like, I don't want to be looked at as like, oh my God, here come all those wave runners down the lake again. They're going to be, whatever. We try to be courteous to people that are fishing. We try to slow down when we come up on bass boats. We try to, whether they're going to do the same thing or not, we're going to try to, have a reputation of being respectful and, being decent so that we don't get that. I don't want to have that bad reputation.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's smart because when I was a kid, my granddad always hated wave runners. I mean, I'm talking, his mid 80s. My granddad had a place down here. He hated people with wave runners, like neighbors, kids had him. He's stupid. They ain't good for nothing,
Those damn kids.
Yeah.
Especially when you see 10 or 15.
Yeah, because it's kind of caught a sight to see like 15 wave runners going down a lake.
Which I mean, you said you obviously be courteous, and all that, but I mean, you're very worried about that and very conscious of it. But you should be worried about like, oh, here comes Justin. I bet Chris is with him. That's what you should be worried about. Yeah, Chris is with him. We're leaving now.
Yeah. Only when he gets permission to ride Ethel. It's usually when Chris is with us.
We need to talk about who Ethel is because people are thinking that
Can I
we're
make one
riding
adjustment?
an Ethel.
You can't.
I just want to make.
Oh, you don't. Yeah.
No.
I just need you to.
Chris
lean
always
forward.
has to get in frame when he's here.
I just need her to lean
Always.
forward.
Chris, you want to sit on my lap?
He always has to get in frame when he's here. I love it. But so Ethel
is
Debbie's
just
wave runner.
their
And
wave
so
runner.
Debbie, if you, I don't, maybe they can see you. We told you to lean forward. There's Debbie.
I'm leaning.
So I will have Debbie on at some point as a guest. But yes, it's happening. But just real quick, I want you to give the description of why you got Ethel. And
All right. So Ethel, can you see me, Chris? All right. So
Satisfactory.
we moved to the lake 2019. It was Chris's dream, my husband, because I get motion sick. So Chris would go out. We had a Tritoon, and then he got the tiny boat.
boats that big.
And I tried going out, but I get motion sick, so I could not go on the lake. So throughout the summer for the first 3 years, it was his lake, and I sat at home. I cooked, and the last thing that happened was everybody came back after some event on the lake, grabbed a burger, and left. And I told Chris I was done with the lake. I was ready to move. So anyway, we got a wave runner, and that's Ethel. She's all white, and my hair is gray. I'm an old white lady. An old white lady's name is Ethel, so her name is Ethel, old white lady. That's me. If you see me going down the lake, it's me.
She's got a white forerunner.
And I go
too,
fast. And I have a white forerunner too.
But
anyway,
you took the good negative angle on that. I appreciate that. It was
You're
nice.
welcome.
But what I was trying to say is you did not enjoy the lake because you get seasick.
I
And
hated living here.
And then you rode some mutual friends of ours, wave runners, and you're like, I didn't get sick on this. I want to
Michael
try
and
it.
Lisa.
Yeah.
I rode there.
And then you got
they
one
begged
after
me.
that, and now you're probably more proactive than anybody about going on the water. Like,
Yeah.
Well, people
'cause
tell
all
me
it
all
was-
the time, like I have a wetsuit, a full wetsuit, 3 mil. So I'm riding in the winter. No one believed me. But I had someone tell me a few weeks ago, Jamie, she was like, yeah, I didn't believe you that you rode in the winter, but a couple of weeks ago we saw you. Oh, there goes Debbie on the white wave runner. So anyway, yes, I love it. I love Ethel. I love my wave runner. I should love my husband for buying it, which I do. Thank you.
Thank God.
So anyway, I
Don't suck
love
up to
being
the
on
pro-
the lake now.
I'll suck up to the producer.
So anyway,
But no,
That's
that was my point. Is like you didn't even enjoy
It
it.
changed my
You had
life.
never been to the Rock or low water
I
or,
jumped off the rock.
or
last year.
Layport or Waxahachie Marina. You've never been to any of these places
Never.
living down here, and then you found something that got you over that motion sickness stuff. Because I've been on the boat. You've been on the boat and tried on our pontoon boat.
Yes.
Got sick as a dog, and it was not a good situation. But like that was, so you couldn't enjoy it. It wasn't
No.
that you did. I'm not going. It wasn't that.
It was not that.
So-
I literally
Yeah.
could not enjoy my husband's dream, even though I wanted to.
You couldn't even get out of the slough almost. It was
No,
like
I
you
could
couldn't
not.
go anywhere. So for her to find that was
Mhm.
pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
you finally get to enjoy
Yeah.
the stupidity, I guess.
Yeah, and then you discover that wave runners go really fast. And Justin, who also has a Harley, loves to go really fast. So once I brought him in, and he and Christy got wave runners, it was
Yeah.
like, okay, this is a perfect.
Yeah, you got the
So,
gang.
Now we're
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to the Bahamas next year. If
Yeah.
anybody
Oh,
wants to join
let's
us.
talk about that because a few episodes ago we touched on that. I forget who was saying something in here about that. So do y'all have a tentative time frame? This so here's the gist. You can go out of roughly say Miami to the Bahamas is 90 miles,
No,
55
55
because
to
Cuba's
60.
90 miles.
Yeah.
So 60 miles. You average 30 miles an hour on a wave runner. You're in 2 hours, so it's a trip that
Mhm.
there's a groups that do it all the time, and we're the top of those groups. But it's something that's done, and it's something that y'all want to do.
It is, yeah.
That I'm going to do.
We are going to.
Yeah. So is there a time frame of this, or are we still like in the we're doing
May,
this?
I
June
think
next
I think
year.
yeah, June maybe 2026. We're
So
going to try to
next
shoot
year.
for that. Yeah.
Okay.
That seems to be the weather window is June from what
So
the
June
research
of next
was on.
year.
Yeah.
So look for that. There's going to be a group from Lay Lake with wave runners. That
Yeah,
go
we're
down
looking
tonight.
for people that want to go. So if you
Yeah.
want to go, you want to participate in that, let's get a group together.
Yeah.
I'd love to have 10, 15 skis together from Lay Lake.
They have more than that at this rate.
Yeah,
They're good.
going to the Bahamas.
But if you're doing it, so there's two things to think about. One is you're going to go to the Bahamas. You're going to stay for probably 2 nights, something
Yeah,
like
a couple
night or
nights,
two.
A couple of nights.
But there is a window in the scheduling because you can't leave on wave runners go across the Atlantic when the weather's bad.
right.
So you got to have a little bit of a flex window in that, but it will give you if we got a night, we got a delay for weather in Miami, we're all going to be hanging out as a group.
Right.
We're all going to make the trip. Then you'll have a couple nights in the Bahamas, and you'll come back, and then you'll head home. So it'd probably be easy as a 5 to 8 or 9 day deal.
Right.
Yeah.
But the whole time it's going to be with the group that goes down there having a good time together.
Well, and you have to be flexible,
Right.
and you have to understand if you look at the videos of going from Miami to Bimini. Bimini is where we're going.
Right.
We'll leave Haulover, and if you look at the videos, it's terrifying. But we're going to leave at sunrise, so it's
That
not
too.
going to be terrifying.
Yeah, you go to haul over at
That's
daybreak.
another
It's smooth.
huge thing. It's smooth at sunrise.
Well, me and Justin wanted to do haul over at like 2 in the afternoon, but
Yeah.
nobody else wanted to.
I'm not doing that.
I want to try it.
I did that yesterday
Same.
on Lay
Yeah,
Lake.
yeah.
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 I think I could do it.
Easy.
Well, yesterday was
Now,
bad.
if Bebo's watching, we've been through Perdido Pass with 15-foot rollers behind us and a storm coming in and a 23-foot boat. We lived.
It's all about the blind confidence.
That's right.
You got it.
No, that was blind luck.
Grip and grip,
That was-
baby. Let's go.
That was blind luck is what that was. I wasn't confidence.
Yeah, no, but I think that'd be a fun trip. There are some groups that do it, and they have all the support and everything to do it. We're talking about right now maybe trying to set it up through one of those groups, but yeah, you go over there, you get an Airbnb for a few days. Most Airbnbs, from what I understand over there, come with slips to park
Yeah.
your skis and stuff like that. And there's a lot of good rides in Bimini, that you can go explore and stuff like that. And
We'd have to try one at least. We're there for 2 days. We got to
Yeah.
do one.
yeah,
Oh, it's
so-
going to be a trip that you'll never forget.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's one of those like a bucket list. Let's try this. Let's go.
I think that was our first conversation when I bought Ethel.
It was, yeah.
I was like, I want to go to Bimini.
Yeah.
And you were like, what?
Yeah.
What do you want to do? And I started showing, I don't care if my face is not showing, Chris. I started showing him videos. And if you want to go to Bimini with us, just let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think so. June next year, let's try to iron out some dates on that and post an event thing and
We
just,
will.
that we can do it because I schedule permitting, I'm going.
Yeah.
No, I mean 100%. I'm in.
Yeah, and
Luke?
Luke, you in?
Put the seat in saltwater.
Probably can't do it.
Support boat.
You could be the
Yeah, Mac, we take yours.
Chris
Yeah.
is flying over with the
Support
wives.
boat.
So-
Yeah, Chris and Amelia will be taking a plane from Birmingham.
And probably
To Bimini.
and your wife.
Babysitter.
Yeah. So anybody that's not is it brave or stupid? I'm trying to say anybody that's not brave or stupid enough to do the jet ski
Yeah.
ride. There's going to be a group that flies. We may not hang
Look,
out.
I don't
with
think
them.
we're going into uncharted water. I mean, people do this all the time.
Yeah, I agree.
All
the
throughout
time.
the summer.
So
I mean,
it's to be safe. Like
Yeah.
we're tongue in cheek and
yeah,
joking,
yeah,
but
yeah,
like
yeah.
you make sure you don't leave when the weather's going to be bad,
Yeah.
and you obviously you have the navigation equipment on multiple skis in your group
Yeah.
to get there. I mean, it's less in this terms at 60 miles, 54 miles.
Yeah.
So imagine going from Lay Dam to Logan Martin Dam and back to Chris's house,
Yeah.
halfway to the dam jam in Dry Branch. So that Dry Branch, Bully Creek, Cedar, Beeswax area, it's about the midway point of the lake.
Yeah.
So go from Lay Dam to Logan Martin Dam and back there. That's how far we're going.
Yeah.
There's a support group, right? That with a
We may bring
Yeah,
that
yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll end up
Bahamas,
bringing
the
those,
Bahamas
so.
Challenge, I think, on Facebook or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the
It
ones
is
that
not a
organize it.
scary trip. I mean,
No.
it's
Like I said, if you
it's
just
fun.
a couple things, weather and make sure you got navigation on multiple boats, and then the third one would be if you're going with a group that is a seasoned and they do that as a business. So yeah, and the first trip we're gonna go with the business.
Yeah.
Against mine and Justin's best judgment, we wanted to just wing it, but some other people were like, we should do it safely, and I'm like, well, we're not gonna do it dangerously.
like some aliens crossing the Rio Grande or something.
Yeah.
Are pirates gonna come rob you?
I don't think
No,
so.
not there. It's
Um,
not Somalia.
We'll talk about that in part in a minute. I may have an idea for that. I may have when I get about 2 miles off Bimini, just
Yeah.
let one go in the water. Ride back maybe, but the ride there, I'm not going to get robbed.
No.
I may take a beater, just be like, we'll leave this one here.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they honor pistol permits from Alabama and
I don't
Bimini.
think so. I don't think so.
We won't go ashore with one. We might leave Miami with one.
Yeah. No, and we want to do some other rides. And look, the Lay Lake Ski Riders Facebook page is for everybody to use. I mean, there's not a huge organization to it. I mean, it's mostly just for
So
people.
it's just like the boat club.
Yeah.
Bunch
We're
of
modeling it
idiots party.
after what you guys are doing, but no, I mean, if anybody wants to put rides out there, or hey, who's riding this weekend, or whatever, that's really what it's for. I mean, it's always more fun when you have more people.
Yeah, it's just like I had a motorcycle too, with my years back, And having a motorcycle or a boat or a wave runner is really cool. But if you don't have people to experience with, like riding your motorcycle by yourself is fun for isolated things.
Sure.
Meeting up Saturday morning at 5 a.m., coffee and a donut.
Yeah.
And riding and doing lunch or something.
Exactly.
That's what makes it fun with a motorcycle. Just like a wave runner, you got to have people that get together and do it together.
Yeah.
That's what makes it a lot of fun.
And we're fortunate here on the lake, on Lay Lake anyway. We have a lot of places. A lot of the marinas serve food, and some of them, are pretty close to each other. But I mean, there's a lot of other riding you can go do, and then go have lunch.
Yep. Support
some local marinas and things like that. So, we're pretty fortunate here that we have a lot of spots on the lake that we can go eat.
Yeah, that's something too. Looking back at that, so you said you come down here, 2019, 20, Chris and them a few times. Back then, I may be wrong. Layport's been open for years.
Yes. And
Waxahachie Marina had different ownership back then. At some point, it did have some restaurants, and then Paradise Point opened one in the past 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, so there's 3 right there.
Yeah, if you back, Cedar Creek was open then, but if you back up just 15 years, like there was maybe 1 or 2 options that were here. Layport was one. And now you got there's 4 or 5, 3 or 4, something like that. I know there's nothing going on at Cedar Creek. I don't think right now they have
3 that serve food.
3 that serve food.
Yeah.
Okay,
Layport,
Waxahachie, and Paradise.
Yeah.
And hopefully something opens in Cedar Creek. It'd be nice.
It'd be nice. I love back then they had, I forget her name. She probably message me and cuss me out if she watches this, but maybe nobody will. But she used to over there. It was called what was it? Barefoot Grill. She made shrimp and Gouda grits on Sundays at work. I wouldn't got them every Sunday. I think. Yeah. It was amazing. Shrimp and Gouda grits.
Yeah.
Like Debbie makes now. I think I was talking about those. Like I can make those, and I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
That's my favorite meal on the planet. Shrimp and grits.
I make it once a year, twice a year.
Yeah. What time are we at? We thought we were going to talk about this.
You're 27 minutes.
Okay, so we'll get done before 40 today.
Yeah, we're
You
close.
should schedule some test runs of the mileage, and then you can run some test runs on.
Oh, we're gonna
Oh yes, let's talk about that.
A bunch of us are gonna go down. We're going down to the Gulf in June, and we're gonna get some Gulf time down there. Riding in the ocean down there. We got to do some testing.
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess talking about that preparation for that trip to Bimini. Talked about navigation and having support groups, support boat, but you could probably do it on a tank of fuel, but you probably need to take some extra fuel. So maybe some outfitting on your jet ski, a rack. Yeah. Maybe hold 5 gallons.
It depends on what model you have.
That's true. That is a good point.
You might need a bigger.
Not a
That's a good point.
Yeah. Well, actually,
That's
if I put
point.
mine in eco mode, which does about 30, I could easily make it there and back. My range is about 130, 140 miles.
So I'm saying I think for the most part you could get there on a tank.
Yeah, easily.
In general, but we will have people to have extra fuel just in case something happens. Then we'll gas up there and come back. But that is somebody probably would say
we
that.
both have racks.
We have racks.
Yeah.
We can carry extra fuel.
Yeah, so think about that. I wouldn't bring an old like a Kawasaki 652 stroke on this trip.
Don't bring your Yamaha 2-cylinders or triples.
Let's
make
not do
it
this.
halfway there. I think
2 strokes probably don't need to do this just because of economy, and I don't like working on stuff in the middle of the Atlantic floating.
No, definitely not.
I'd take like 16 spark plug sockets and 40 spark plugs, because we're gonna drop you them sockets out there doing this.
Yeah. No, there's definitely a checklist of stuff to bring with you.
Yeah.
So you gotta load it on your ski.
Yeah, if you're on the trip, as a group perspective, it won't be no corners cut on being safe, obviously. And then probably have something like a minimum checklist. You got to have this to go.
Yeah.
And then obviously, if you want this, it's good, but other people in the group maybe have it.
Right. Yeah.
You got to be safe because
someone will bring tools.
Oh yeah, tools, gas.
Yeah, tools and gas will probably be more of a group. So it's the same thing like we do in our big camping trips, overlanding.
Yeah.
You got if you don't need 10 sets of tools between 10 trucks, knock down to, hey, 3 people bring your toolkits, that kind of thing.
Right.
So we'd scale some of that back to make sure you have enough for the whole group, because you kind of support a whole group in a trip like that. And then even another thing, I guess we could look into. I don't know. I've never been to Bimini before, but if we get enough people that are seriously interested, there may be some kind of like place you could do down there where it's like a cabanas, and everybody gets from cabana with like a common area or something like that. Maybe something we could book a group, book a place we're all like staying at the same place.
Yeah, that'd be.
There's probably some. I don't know if we
So
can all
just
stay.
let us know if y'all want to go.
Yeah.
I don't know about staying in Atlantis because that's a little bit out of my tax bracket.
Yeah,
but
Airbnb it for the.
we could get a tent named Atlantis and take it with us.
Yeah.
Well, we may look into that we could start getting some iron down numbers of people go and try.
Yeah, and we'll put some stuff together. Obviously, I don't know how far out you really got to make reservations, but like I said, most of these groups go in June, so I would say probably after June we're going to start looking at making reservations.
I'd probably try to say probably maybe mid-July I have some concrete plans on what's going on. So I'll look for that. I'd say that'd be a good target.
But until then, we got a lot of riding on Lay Lake to do.
All right. Well, what are you doing?
And we need suggestions for
Yeah,
other places.
let's go. I'm going to do Smith Lake. I'd like to put a ride together Smith Lake.
Yep.
There's a great website called PWC Trail Finder, and you can go on their website, and people have posted rides. You can click on it by state, and they've got detailed Google Maps on there, and most of the tracks they have on there are they list out marinas and restaurants. There's a ride that goes from Lake Gunnersville all the way over to Chattanooga.
There's some guys that they do one called the Rambo Run every year, and some people from Lake Melissa and Adam have done it. Well, they leave out of Chattanooga and do that instead. Yeah, leave out of Gunnersville instead. There, guys do that on boats too. I know some people that done it.
You go through a lock and dam, I think, going up to Chattanooga.
At least one, maybe more, multiple.
Yeah. So that we want to do that. There's some stuff like that. Ride down. I went. My wife and I went last weekend down to Mobile and rode one of the rivers down there, and it was a little windy on us. We were trying to go out in the Gulf, but it didn't work out for us down there. But we did do some riding down there. So yeah, I'd like to put some rides together for people that want to travel. Try to do some close stuff, see some other lakes around the area, and just do some. There's a pretty big group out of Florida. They come up here a lot. They ride Smith Lake and some other stuff. So it'd be fun to kind of link up with other jet ski clubs and kind of go ride.
That'd be good. We just find some places we could do like maybe a couple overnighters.
Yeah,
something like
some
that.
camping.
That'd be good. You want to camp, Debbie? There's some. I don't know if you could take jet skis, but down in the like the Mobile Delta and all that going into the Mobile Bay, there's a bunch of places where you can. I know you can kayak.
Yeah.
And they have platforms.
Tent platforms. Yep.
I don't know if wave runners would work there.
The wave runners are so much fun. I would camp.
I mean, it's a powered, in those kind of conditions in the backwater on it. It's just a powered canoe or a powered paddleboard. You're idling,
As long as we're not too shallow, we'll be all right.
What's
Luke will be with us.
Luke, what is our safe shallow distance on average on watercraft?
It depends on what you're over. Probably 1.5 feet. I wouldn't go any shallower. I had a guy
broken that before.
Rock,
yeah.
So
I've sucked rocks up before.
Yeah. He sucked up a piece of gravel that big.
Yeah. And, mine was below Logan Martin Dam when they turned them on. We hung out and watched it fill up, and we were beached on the pea gravel below that. And when we cranked up to leave it,
Could you suck up jellyfish? That'd be something interesting.
It blasted through.
I don't know. I've never sucked up.
We got jellyfish on
I know they won't suck up plastic bags.
I'll let you know in June.
Breaking news. There's jellyfish on Lay Lake, right? Is that going to be gators?
We're taking the ski. We're taking all the skis in June, so we'll let y'all know.
Can't hear you because you're not leaving.
We are taking all the skis in June, so
yeah, it'll be a fun trip.
A lot of skis.
I may jump on one at some point. Yeah, there's a bunch of us going down to Orange Beach in June, so there'll be some skis there. If y'all are going offshore and there's one empty, I may go.
Yeah, we're going.
We're doing
I'll do it.
We're going. I'm ready.
Your suggestions would maybe like Lakeport or some of the marinas?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think the more people we have, as we go to these different marinas, there's a lot of marinas on the lake that are great. We can get fuel just about anywhere. I think from a jet ski perspective, though, there would be some things that would be awesome to see. Adding another board at the bottom of the dock when you tie up.
Mm-hmm.
So our skis sit lower and they get up under there and it creates a lot of dock rash and things like that. Paradise is nice. They've got the porch we can pull up on. But yeah, just little things like that. Hopefully the more skis we see on the lake, maybe a few more accommodations at some of these marinas.
That'd be good. Yeah, the board thing's big because you put like one nice 2x12 down when you build your dock. Yep. Well, you need a second one when you get watercraft there.
That's right.
It's even our lake doesn't fluctuate much, but you thinking doing your dock to do it for boats every now and then watercrafts come over. If
you're tied up, man, if somebody comes ripping by at however, and it starts. If you've got big fenders on the side of a boat, it's not that big of a deal. But
that's something we were talking about this yesterday at the Lakeport meet and greet and boat ticket sale giveaway. Was like it'd be nice from like Lakeport to like Waxahachie if it was a no wake zone.
It would be nice
because so many people go through there, and it's like you got both those marinas that are great.
Yeah,
you got like you said, gas, food. They're always packed with people, and everybody's boat. You have to be so careful because it's like it's like main channel
It
wakes
is.
right there. It'd be nice if it's not on no wake zone. I would like to see it one personally.
I would too.
And so just like if you're watching this, just
Trying
be
to fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to fuel up. Yeah.
just be mindful going through between Waxahachie Marina and Lakeport Marina during the summertime.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people going in and out. There's kids swimming too.
I'll write it
So try to think about that. I know that people going by don't, they'll go by, they're like, oh man, look at that marina. It's a bunch of people. It's a good time.
Yeah.
Just be thinking about that because it does, both those marinas get really rough on the weekends with boats
Yeah.
tying up. Right
Yeah,
there.
like you said, if you're trying to fuel, it can be a challenge. People come flying through there.
Yeah, you take the waves from the back of Lakeport. So
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we're looking forward to summer. Looking forward to seeing a bunch of people. We had quite a few people at the end of summer link up, and I mean, it's always fun.
All right, so I guess that's it. We're right around 30 minutes. We're trying to keep there. I promise we would try to put a timer. We'll put our senior technology correspondent,
35
Matt.
minutes.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
writing
we're
a
over.
letter.
We're over.
We're over.
Shit, he's already written a review on the podcast and haven't aired yet.
All right, so Lake Jet Ski Riders on Facebook. If you got a jet ski, hit up with them, and they try to plan stuff. They post it on the boat club too, but it's a really good thing. Like if they're out doing an event that day, they're going to post on that, not maybe on the boat club, so you communicate
And
better.
use a Facebook group. If you want to plan a ride or you want to put a ride together, use it and put it out
Even
there.
if it's a boat.
Yeah, even
We'll-
if it's
we'll
a boat.
slow down
yeah,
and go
heck
with the
yeah.
boat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, let's
Perfect.
do it.
So hey, we're going to end right now, but y'all should probably like for the poker run, maybe get a group that does that.
That's a good idea.
That'd be a good idea coming up.
okay, I'm not working the poker run this year.
You're working the poker run, Debbie. So thank y'all. We kept it to 35 minutes. I thought we've been creeping up because we get having a good time and all. But thank y'all for watching. Off
Appreciate
the
it.
cleat.
Yeah.
Justin Atwell,
Yeah.
Lake Jet
Luke.
Ski Riders.
Debbie.
Luke's over there. Debbie's over there. Chris is in the background. Matt's coming through the door. There's Lori's over there staring at us, wanting a seafoam green garden hose for her boat at the beach. And we will see y'all soon.
Later.